Have you ever felt the energy all around you, or a sensation that's typically not there, and thought to yourself, what is going on? Well, lucky for you, in this show, Master Your Energy, we're going to dive deep and explore the energy going around in the cosmos and how it might be impacting us here on Earth. And also, each episode, you'll gain new tools, perspectives, and ways to connect deeper and deeper with your own energy. And of course, I'm your host, Sara Wong. After 15 years in being in a corporate environment, I decided to dive deeper into my own energy. And over the last 10 years, I've studied things including emotional intelligence, quantum physics. I also became a Reiki master. And specifically speaking, over the last 4 years, I opened my own business and have served thousands of clients in understanding and healing their own energy. As your guide, I'm honored to be here with you today. Welcome to the new moon in Taurus, week of new beginnings. And, this month of May is all about communication, relationships, and connecting to your higher self. And what's really interesting about this new moon, which is today, and it's a permission slip. So everyone gets one, take it or leave it. The universe has one for every single person. And the permission slip is to activate your inner rebel. Your inner rebel is ready to break free from anything that no longer serves you. And there might be one area in your life you want to give this permission slip to, specifically speaking, or you might want to give yourself a permission slip to apply it everywhere in your life. You get to decide, because this new moon is asking you to evolve with curiosity in new ways, taking that leap of faith. This is a signal. It is your time to trust yourself and believe in yourself. And not only that, but the new moon being today is really activating an opportunity for us to reflect on the last several months and years on, what no longer serves us and what we're ready to just shift and evolve out of. So whatever you decide to do, Taurus is ruled by Venus, so it's honoring your personal needs and knowing that's enough. So wherever you are find yourself in this new moon energy, just trust that whatever is asking for your energy, that's exactly what you need to move forward, regardless of what you think it should look like. So again, that rebel breaking free of what you think it should look like, and that's probably one of the most challenging energies we all face in our reality. So not only that, but this is exactly the start of eclipse season. So this is the last new moon for a while that won't fall in an eclipse energy. So it gives us a lot of momentum to move forward and take that energy in stride. So whatever challenges or opportunities for growth come our way during the eclipse season, which happens every year during this time for the next several weeks, is really ways to evolve and explore whatever comes our way for our highest good. So, slow down, no need to rush. There's a lot to explore here, as you can imagine. So one thing to note as well with this new moon in Taurus is there's a lot of energy around dreams and visions, around your heart energy. So this is really a good time to just check in and ask yourself, what is something I would love to have more a part of my life in a new way? Or what am I ready to step into that can bring in that love and joy and pleasure and just happiness overall? Because we all deserve to have that in our lives. So this new moon being in Taurus is really activating that Venus energy within us, and that's honoring ourselves. So with that, this episode is really packed with amazing energy of two individuals who absolutely fit the description of a rebel and one who honors themselves. And with that, after this short break, I'm going to have the first guest up. So with that, I'll be right back. If you're just tuning in to KCAA Radio or streaming live on the Energy House YouTube channel, this is Sara Wong, host of Master Your Energy. And in this show, we review the energy of the week. And this week's inspiration is all about honoring that inner rebel. and exploring curiosity for the areas in our lives that are really ready to evolve. First up, we have one of my favorite rebels, Ashley Dawkins. Ashley is the owner of the Swazi Shop, which is a Black-owned holistic health company that provides Earth-centered healthcare products for people of all walks of life. Ashley has worked with many organizations focusing specifically on the African American community and equality for all. So let's dive into what it takes to honor your inner rebel while creating your own path. Welcome, Ashley, to the show.
Hello, hello. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you, Sarah, for the invite.
Yeah, of course. You are my favorite rebel, so why not bring you in with the new moon in Taurus energy?
Yes.
Also, what you stand for is really an embodiment of individuality and speaking your authentic truth. So, I would love to first celebrate you. Last year during the pandemic, you graduated from Long Beach State. So, this is your official celebration on air because I know you didn't get that graduation you dreamt of, but you know what? You definitely have stepped into a rhythm of serving the community during this pandemic. So I think the graduation you've created is very honorable. So just wanted to give you that quick recognition because you definitely deserve it. And not only that, but the Swazi Shop is a product and a company that I love dearly, and I'm so grateful to allow you to really share your journey in creating the Swazi Shop, because I will say when I first was introduced to it, I was always blown away with your story and the love you put behind it. So with that, would love to hear how you created the Swazi Shop and really how you created that dream and made it what it is today.
Okay. Well, first, thank you. And I did miss having a graduation. I was just lucky enough to have a cool photographer and my family there, even in the midst of the pandemic. But before even graduating, I could say the Swazi Shop was actually born in the middle of my college career. And if anything, the Swazi Shop, everyone's like, oh, where does it come from? The Swazi Shop has such a cool name. If anything, this version of the Swazi Shop is actually a rebirth of it, when the first Swazi Shop actually started in the 1950s as my grandfather and his siblings in East Chicago created the first Pan African wellness store, well, Pan African store in East Chicago, where they sold books, African art, and if anything, really brought the continent's richness of culture into one of the largest Black communities of East Chicago. So it was very much an honor, and I came across this information. Unfortunately, after the passing of my father, passed away the December 2017, and my father was like my best friend. Like, if you were to meet him, you would understand me 10 times more. And like after his passing, I just was just going through so much, but my amazing godfather, he was like, "Here, I'm going to buy you a ticket. We're going to go to Chicago, and I want you to really like experience your family." And the last time I went to Chicago was when I was 6 years old with my father, so it was so timely as I was just turned 21 at the time. And no, I just turned 20. And when I went there, I just remember seeing a large wall with so many people who looked just like me and had so many rich stories and contributed so much to their local community, as they were all about ensuring the kids could learn. Everyone had food and just really loving one another. And that legacy really inspires me. In
What did
addition to
that
that,
feel like to
mhm,
just walk in those footsteps of your ancestors, your grandfather, even your father, and being community? Was that, I just feel your heart so filled up. So how was that connection? What it feels like that was a moment that lit you up into a different perspective of where your energy was being called.
yes. And thank you for stopping me for that. At that moment, being raised in the West Coast is like it's super fun, it's super cool. I didn't have a lot of like family that was related to me out here, but to see a wall and then be around a lot of people who literally look like me, act like me, in ways that honestly are more intrinsic than anything. just made me feel like I was not just me, I was a part of a whole. It really made me feel like, if anything, the love of God by being able to see people who look just like me, like to the nose.
Yeah.
Um, so what that really inspired in me was just kind of like everyone should be able to experience and witness this. And after they were really all just all on this plan together, and we just need to get along and make it happen because it's really not that difficult. All we need to do is love and just really respect one another for who they are intrinsically and all everything else in between. So in the midst of like connecting with my family and understanding the legacy of the Swazi Shop, especially in the passing of my father, I was like, if I were to start a business, I'm gonna call it the Swazi Shop, just out of honor of my ancestors, and it sounds pretty fly. Okay, I've never heard anything like it. um, yeah, and then the start of that business happened sooner than I thought. As when I came back from that trip, it was after Kwanzaa. I actually spent Kwanzaa with them. I realized I had no job. I was a junior in college, and I was in a super difficult program at Cal State Long Beach studying to be a speech language pathologist assistant. And I was like, I can't do a 9 to 5. I need to figure out how I can make some money. So by that time, and honestly, since I was in high school, I was always fascinated by skincare and just really how to have healthy skin. And honestly, my interest in skin started when I actually had my first patch of like eczema breakout. It was on my leg, and I was super insecure. And I'm a doer, I'm a problem solver. And I was like, nothing shall ever impede me in my greatness.
Mhm.
So I was just making concoctions. It was working for my skin. People was asking, how is your skin so healthy in high school? And I would literally just make little like care packages and just give it to them because I didn't really care about making money. But now fast forward to college, I was already like whenever people had like any issues, I would like whip something up. If someone's cold, like has a cold, they're coming to my dorm and asking for Ashley's specialty and all those
Yeah.
things in between.
And did you
So
learn that through growing up, or, did you learn that just through trial and error? What was the ingredient to your knowledge?
I say it's literally very much a little bit of everything. Being my mother being a beautiful Jamaican woman, she brought a lot of that culture like to me and my upbringing. But I'll say definitely in high school, I had a huge just interest in understanding nature and the power of it and healing, and that pushed me into studying herbs, crystals, especially diving deeply into history and understanding really where all this began and how this started because it's not making sense right now.
You know,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, the journey I feel like is always evolving, and I always remind myself it's not the destination. It's really just enjoying the journey and the nuances of the journey, right? And I love everything you described because that's exactly what it was, right? Is, oh, I have eczema. Let me see what I can heal myself with. And oh, I love the energy of crystals and plants. Let me see how I can heal with this in different ways. So at a very young age, it feels like you naturally we're curious, and that's sometimes when there are no solutions, are solutions that just don't necessarily work for that individual. Curiosity could open up so much new perspective. So I love that you're leading with that energy, because I would say with the Swazi Shop, having first been in Energy House as a partner, and a store people could go experience the products at and purchase the products at before pandemic. um you know I was able to see how it benefited others who were looking for other remedies. So one of them is Irish sea moss. So do you want to share a little bit about Irish sea moss and a few other products that others can understand the breadth of the Swazi Shop as well, and really the ingredients that are unique. And I love how you also source them. So just want to also add that. So if you want to talk about that around the Swazi Shop and the products.
Hmm. Well, definitely. One thing I actually do want to trace back to a little bit was one of the energies that very much did inspire the Swazi Shop that you guys can find on Instagram, Facebook, us online. It's paying to be very transparent. The found like a lot like from not just my individual experience pain, but those who have struggled with their skincare and just like their overall confidence in trying to feel comfortable in the skin that they're in, of all, like with all skin conditions, tones, all those things in between. For the womb products, or here, let me just break it down like that. For the skincare, which is featuring our moisturizing oil, Gold Drops, which is great for your hair, face, and body. That honestly keeps you looking golden from time to time. And then we have an amazing all-in-one cleanser named Welanizer that is Black African soap base. That's really good at keeping your skin clean without drying it out. We have an amazing pink Himalayan salt scrub that's great at removing all dead skin, exfoliating, and just really making your body just feel like silk in a brand new baby. We have an amazing face mask that's super dynamic. That's great for oily and dry skin. So you can take it and mix it with a cosmetic oil, such as Gold Drops, and use that in case you have dry skin, and you'll just wake up and feel so supple. If anything, when Jesse comes on, he could tell you about that. And if you mix with water, it's really good for people with oily skin as it draws out impurities. And lastly, we have the balm. I wish I had the products to show right now, but the balm is literally the balm, as it's a great spot treatment, like in case you have like a pimple. Like I had some scarring on my chin because I just had pimples, and then they just kind of went down the scar because I like scratched it without recognizing it. And I just been putting the balm on it, and you would never know there was even anything happening. And even keep in mind, I'm not wearing any foundation. I just, throw on a little eyeshadow, maybe a kiss of blush and some eyebrows because, I can't look scary.
Yes.
But next, so that was the skincare line. Next line is actually the feminine products. So this is when we talk about the yoni steams and the yoni drops. So a hidden conversation that is very common and prevalent with women is our sometimes trying relationship with our wombs and not knowing how to care for our womb. And a lot of individuals will say, "Oh well, the the female reproductive system is great at cleaning itself. That's why you have periods and all those things between." And I'm like, absolutely. The body's amazing. It does everything it's supposed to do, especially if we take care of it accordingly. But are we taking care of our bodies? Especially when we live in a westernized society where there's literally questionable contaminants in everything from the air, the water, and the food. And even everything that's on the back of a label is in everything that's inside the product. And I say that not to incite fear, it's literally just to be transparent about the reality that we live in. So there's
Right.
always an extra need, in my opinion, to practice honestly physical, mental, and spiritual hygienes and ensuring
Yeah.
that your body's getting the vital nutrients and is actually removing everything that comes in accordingly.
Yeah. And that's,
Yeah.
I think that's really important is sometimes when we do feel off and, a cleanse, changing up nutrition, working with ingredients that really support our body could be the best first step. And sometimes people, we discount that, but it's usually that's the sabotaging habit that keeps us stuck and feeling lethargic or, unhappy or guilty, like or shame, and those energies, it's dense, and then those dense energies, it takes time to move. So I'm glad you're mentioning that, and that's what I love about the Swazi Shop is all the products are organic and really great quality. So I like to use them, and they're very diverse. You can use them in many different ways. And I would say if you're looking for healthcare products for your skin, for your body, definitely check out the Swazi Shop because you won't be disappointed, and everything is very natural and safe. And I like the energy of it because it's neutral too. It's not too harsh. It. I feel like it builds with the energy of whatever it's working with as well.
Exactly. And that's what the entire Sly Shop's like. Our motto is you don't need a million and one products. Like I've looked under the like in the medicine cabinets and under the sink of so many women. I'm like, you're one body. Why is there over 30 bottles under here? And I
Right.
just really wanted to create products that are so diverse. Like I can really say the only products I use are my products. And away from that, I purchased a deodorant, a body lotion, and then shampoo and conditioner because that hasn't been created yet.
Right.
But the last product line is the herbs I'm team. So a little
Mhm.
Jamaican flair there, where I do offer IRC moss. in addition to the Earth Squad, and what comes with a free diet plan that really just helps people start their like a nutritious lifestyle. I always tell people it's not about being a vegan and it's not about being a carnivore. It's about ensuring that everything that comes in comes out and you're getting everything you need in between. Now, with that being the goal, if you want to indulge in treats, because honestly, I do have a sweet tooth. I wish I didn't. um, and and enjoy life in other ways, like through food, because I feel like food is very much an experience. Do it, but make sure everything that comes in is coming out. Majority of individuals have wasted their colon from when they're like kids, and I'm talking about grown folks as well, because in especially westernized culture, it's not regular to clear out your colon. Even the
Right.
notion of us eating 3 times a day, you won't see that in all cultures.
Right.
And as I mentioned earlier, a lot of the contaminants that's in our food, known and unknown, that's impacting us. So
Yeah.
that's when we incorporate things such as moringa powder, moringa seeds, active black charcoal, that's known for removing toxins and poisons that have been scientifically proven to remove certain toxins and poisons and actually supplement your body the vital nutrients that it needs.
Right.
But I tell everybody, move accordingly. Like I can definitely say I'm not like a to the book vegan. I'm still very much a Jamaican woman, and on Sundays, my family loves to cook. Um,
Yeah.
but I always still make it a goal to ensure that my body gets everything it needs,
Yeah.
and everything that comes in comes out. And if I realize I'm eating a lot of junk, I'm recognizing how that's impacting my mood, my physical being, my even my drive, my motivation, and even sometimes the things we think about from
Yeah.
to be very chaotic and searching
Hmm.
for like a distraction, or whether you're just cool, chill, laid back, and not in need of anything because your body has every vital nutrient that needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, part of the Swazi Shop for you is also giving back. So recently you created a care package and distribute that
Mhm.
as well. So is that still going on? And I would love for you to talk about that effort you just did too.
Yes. So one major success that the Swazi Shop has done has we actually donated over 700 care packages um, to help mitigate COVID within the Black community of Long Beach. As there was a study during the entire pandemic that one of the group of individuals who were impacted by the pandemic the most was the Black community, even though they're only 4% of the Long Beach population, but they were like it was 50, but they were like 15% of the individuals ending up in the hospital. So recognizing that, the city of Long Beach actually allocated a specific amount of money to specifically the Black community of Long Beach, and of course they provide funding to all other communities. Like I know like the Latinx community
Hmm.
receive funding and so on and so forth. But
Right.
I used my grant money and I created over 700 care packages that featured a custom Swazi Shop mask, hand sanitizer, a sample of our moisturizing oil called Gold Drops, and this will last way longer than you may think. And then also we have a cute Swazi Care Kit guide that this kind of gives just with our hashtag, where it's like hashtag mask up, practice the basic precautions such as washing your hands, wear your mask, and then clean up, which is like, take this time of solitude to clean your room, clean your house, detail your car, like get in between there and organize your purse and your wallet, because sometimes life is moving really fast before the pandemic, and it forced us all to have a halt to really look at the things that we didn't take the time to. And
Right.
lastly, the hashtag was hashtag glow up, because this is a prime opportunity for everyone to take the time to really love, know, and respect themselves so they can live a life filled of health, happiness, abundance with perfect self-expression. And the pursuit for that for everyone is different, but we have to take the time to find our route.
Yes, I love that so much. That self-expression is crucial, and thank you for being such an embodiment of self-expression in this day and age and really taking your company to serve others in unique ways. So,
Yeah. Ooh,
with
one
that,
last thing. Ooh,
we're
yes,
going to
yes,
go
yes.
to a commercial break, but we'll be right back. And I can't wait because we're going to have another guest on here who is a king of self-expression, and then we'll have Ashley return. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. If you're just tuning in to KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind, or streaming live on the Energy House YouTube channel, this is Sara Wong, host of Master Your Energy. And this week's inspiration is all about honoring that inner rebel and exploring curiosity for those areas that are truly ready to evolve. And this next guest is no stranger to self-expression and honoring his inner rebel. Majesty is a healer, tarot card reader at night, and during the day, a behavioral therapist for autistic children, visual artist, social media marketing manager, and most of all, an artist of self-expression. So let's dive into what it takes to really honor your inner rebel while creating your own path. Welcome, Majesty, to the show.
Hello.
So good to have you here today. And one thing I love about you is you're just such a diverse person, and you're probably, I would say, the inspiration of self-expression that I leverage, personally speaking. So I'm so grateful to share you on this new moon in Taurus, which I believe is here giving us all permission slip to break free from whatever's holding us back. So
Yes.
I know you support others so much in that, not only adults and, everyone on their journey, but kids as well, as, working through their different sensory challenges and, learning and really exploring energy in different ways. So I love that you're able to do what I feel like your superhero powers at night and your superhero powers during the day in different ways. So grateful to have you on the show and just share your knowledge and inspiration of working with all those different energies, and mostly speaking of is breaking out of those polarities, right? Those fears that hold us back, or those shadows that somehow feel much greater than what we're ready for, right? And so you're an expert on what's required to take that leap of faith and say, you know what? This is my time to just break free of this and create from a space of my authentic truth. So were you always that way growing up, or is that something you had to break free out of to find your true self?
I think it was in my spirit since I was a child. I always had curiosity to just be many different things. And at first I was very shy. I think I wasn't very expressive or very in my truth just yet. And there was just moments where I really had to take the leap and just go for it, whether it was most of the time it was just saying something silly. There was just a comment. I was always just the class clown. So sometimes I was I have this joke in my head. It's ready to come out. I know it's going to make everybody laugh, but I would just suppress it. And at some point I just kind of started to express that and just throw it out there. And then I saw people's reactions, and it would bring a smile to people's faces. And in one way or another, I just kind of started to my spirit just took that direction of wanting to just be rebellious from being normal. And because I think none of us are normal, really. I mean, we are weird in some ways, right? And so I feel when I just express myself and my inner truth, it makes people around me in a way more comfortable, in a sense, because that's inside of them already. It started off me being shy when I was younger. And then the more I progressed when I was older, my self-expression just advanced to so many other dimensions. And here I am.
Yeah. It's funny. I too, when I was younger, was called shy. At least that's what I was labeled. But now being where I'm at and the awareness I have with energy and even just being a Reiki master, I realized I was just an empath. And as a child, which I can see as you too, probably being that energy, is we're just aware of all these other energies and probably not sure what to do with them and feeling overwhelmed. So and I think the only thing available was for us to be shy.
Yes. And that's definitely, I definitely identify as being an empath. I've always just absorbed just so much energy in the room. And in some way or form channeled it.
Yeah.
So here I am.
Yeah. So working with kids with autism, what is one thing that you see consistently that, if anyone dealing with, whether it's a, nephew with autism or their own child with autism or someone they know, what is one thing that you feel is like really helpful immediately that you constantly see working with, I'm sure, the parents and also the children?
It's just, they are such their spirits are just such plot twists to the world. But in such a beautiful way. They carry so much mystery and honesty and truth and joy. And some of them just really latch on to happiness for no reason. And sometimes I'm like, I need to be that. Like, I need to just be happy for no reason and have all this joy. And they really bring me out of my element. So I feel like sometimes, working with an individual that may have autism, you just gotta really take a moment to explore their spirit and learn from them. We learn from everybody and they're no different from who you can learn from them. So there's so much in that area for sure. But I would just say it's really just to honor them just the way we honor somebody else who may not have autism. Sometimes we choose to treat people different because of their condition, and my spirit's not built that way, and their spirits don't want to be treated different either. And so it's just, they have so much to give and offer and so much light within them that there's so much to tap into, and it's an honor being in their presence for sure, and their families as well too. I have about 4 clients, and it's like their family became a part of mine. They're such beautiful people, and they're really a part of. I'm glad that I have good cases where the parents are super reinforcing and working with them, and also along with the programs that we're working on, and they're just as impacting as well too. And it's a good dynamic. It's really rewarding.
Yeah, it's honor that it does require more energy and different patience and understanding and compassion, not trying to be like, why can't you do it this way? It's, I think anytime we're working with an unknown energy, whether it's, a child or, being in a pandemic, it's, it's honoring that we're in this chaotic energy of change and evolution. It's not over. We're still in it.
Yes.
But now we have more awareness. We have more tools. We have more guidance. I feel like, we're regrounded in we can move forward. We just have to ask ourselves what is available energetically speaking. So that's also the work you do with adults and others in your energy work, and tarot reading is being that conduit of inspiration and that channel of energy as well. I know you and I both love to support others with understanding how to connect to their higher self. So, in that, when you read energy, what are some of the common blocks that you're seeing right now, given everything we've been through in the pandemic, as people are moving forward past fears, breaking free from their old selves, their old versions, their old shadows, wherever they're at in their process? Because believe me, I know, so we're all everywhere, and it's honoring that too, right?
Yes.
Is knowing that there's no, like, we're not all over here at point A. There's, A to Z and probably a lot more than that. And we're scattered. We're all over the place. And it's okay. It's okay. Because we're all shifting whatever we need to, right? I feel like we're all evolving into the most authentic self. And 2021 is that year, right? It's breaking free. It's that vibration. So what is some themes you're seeing in the collective or with your clients right now that are some themes that you think would be relevant to really talk about and bring light to during this time of change?
I think the biggest thing is the neglect of the inner child. That is such a big thing that I've been working with my clients to really just build a relationship. The inner child exists in everybody. You could be 40, 50, 60, 70, 90 years old. You're still going to have the inner child within you. So build the relationship. And sometimes when we neglect that inner child, it comes out in various forms. And a lot, it's really about just embracing the duality of just our past, whether it's trauma, whether it's we've all experienced some sort of darkness, and the inner child is the most impacted. And with my clients, one of the works that I really do is I do my readings, of course, and then sometimes my spirits were like, okay, they got their message and what they needed with the tarot cards, but now we're going to have them turn inwards, and we're going to really have them to neutralize that energy between them and their inner child. So I have them do the heart-to-heart method and have them really dive inward and connect with them. And I've seen a lot of tears, a lot of release, a lot of just relief, especially grown men, because of course, if you live in the Hispanic culture, there's a thing called machismo, where we're taught not to cry, taught not to express, and that's one thing that's really, it's a curse that a lot of generations kind of have. And I don't even think it's just a Hispanic culture. I think it's in a lot of cultures. I think, crying and releasing is considered weakness, and it's not. It's really not. It's actually the most beautiful thing you can experience, to really connect with yourself and empower yourself. And so I have been grateful to have people who have booked me and done this work. And I've seen men who said they haven't cried in years.
Yeah.
Do the healing and do the work and reconnect themselves. I see how neutralized and powerful they become. And same thing for my woman. And it's beautiful. But I think that's the very common theme that I see is just neutralizing and reconnecting with your inner child, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And, I'm glad you said that, because I think part of the healing we are doing is acknowledging those energies that, want to evolve and are controlled by the inner child. So it's one of those things that we need to pay attention to, especially if something's showing up that, we want to react in a new way. We don't want to experience the same fight or the same outcome or, the same stagnant energy. Yes. So if it is that inner child, and sometimes it's creative, the inner child wants to create and, paint and explore and something new. So, if you are feeling those old energies, give yourself permission to take the day off tomorrow and have a day for yourself. Do something completely off track for you during the week, not on the weekend. I know some people are like, I'll just wait till, no, the weekend's going to be crowded. We're in summertime, we're in SoCal. So everyone is breaking out of their home and feeling more comfort outside. So it is more crowded now. And so, during the week's a great time to honor. So this is a permission slip. Remember, the rebel of the week is saying, hey, we need a break. And if that is showing up, if your inner child, I am burnt out and I'm sick of just doing and putting all this pressure on me, then, this is a time to honor that. So I want to actually bring Ashley back on to join us in this conversation as well, because I know she also has broken free of that inner child and really just honored that inner child in dancing. I know dancing is a big part of how you connect to your higher self. So welcome back, Ashley.
Welcome. Glad to be here. Well, just to talk about like breaking free of the inner child, I find it so important for us as individuals to really kind of be so aware about who we are. And one of the things I always tell everybody is it's important to know what is not, and who you are and how you play a role in all of it. Because a lot of times, like life existence is really based off of relativity. Like everything is relevant to something. Like it's all about how close you are to it. That's why boundaries are called boundaries. Like you're setting a limit of how close something can and cannot be to you. And with having that understanding of self, it really makes you understand the nature of everything else, the everything and nothingness of it. And now connecting that to the inner child is like understanding, like when I look back at me as a child, I was very like mischievous. I was like climbing stuff, breaking stuff, definitely playing with chemicals under the sink. Do not be like me.
But you weren't the shy ones like just Jay, Majesty, and you weren't the quiet little innocent ones.
I was the innocent facing, but behind closed doors, I was doing whatever I wanted. And I have to really like just kind of even give a big shout out to like my father, like who passed, and he really like fostered me as a child. He really allowed me to explore creativity. And I remember that, like, when I went to school, and I was very nervous about being weird, because here I am, like, throwing pennies out of nowhere, because my dad used to just be like, hey, here's a bunch of pennies, do whatever you want. And like, I'm over here climbing stuff. And at that time, I was raised in a Jamaican household. Like, people said, oh, man, use the restroom. I was like, oh, I need to use the restroom. I need to use the bathroom. What am I doing? And then it's like, whoa. And being in such a predominantly white environment, where it's like who I was different. I began to really become more shy and more scared of expressing my truth, but my father always kept that fire alive. And if anything, I could say now, it's like, it's always been easy for me to tap into my inner child, because I was allowed to have that. And I could say throughout different like phases, like high school, college, trying to be cool, and then just coming to the ultimate aspect of, I don't care. Like, I'm 23 years old, and a good day to me is ice cream, skateboarding, and climbing a tree. And I have a 401k. So it's like, I'm an adult and I'm a kid.
And I think that's, I love that pivot, because it's really about being present to each day, not like the destination and the agenda and the goals. It's really living in the moment of creation and knowing like, wow, in this moment, I'm just pure happy and joy, and I'm allowed to feel that, right? And my energy doesn't have to be anywhere else, doesn't have to be connected to a device, an email. It could just be connected to nature. Sometimes I just stare at a tree and watch the sun hit the leaves, because it's to me, it does whatever I need it to do, and my mind, it just feels relaxed, and I'm not tethered to anything else. And it just gives me a moment to just get out of my own head and into, what feels at peace and calm and going with the flow. Like the leaves aren't resisting the wind, they're just, they're not trying to hide from the sun. They're not getting too hot. They're not bothered. It's just like, they look great. And I'm just like, they're living in harmony and cohesion. And, that is available for us individually if we take that time to honor the present.
Oh, I agree. And I just want to just add one like tip, especially like an alchemy 101, is like understanding, tapping into that child of ourselves is like really tapping into the version of ourselves when we were the most ourselves spiritually, when we were just kind of accepting and processing existence as it was. And like after the stage of 8, like they say, like the most formative years is up to 8. That's when we learn how to like exist in the environment that we do. And that's when our soul is the most receptive to what is and what is not. And that's what happens like when a lot of us have gone through so much trauma from a young age. It's just kind of like that spirit got beat down before it can even really get up and stay on its own feet. So doing the work is so important. So you can be that kid. Maybe some people never have a childhood. Michael Jackson complained about that. And that's why he like made an entire zoo in his backyard, because he's like, this is my time now.
Right. I mean, it goes back to that inner child, huh, Jay?
Yes. Oh, for sure. And discovering your inner child and just, reconnecting with that again. Like Ashley was saying, like the spirit that was that spirit before it was beat down is the most powerful one. And so you have to do the work to dig into it. And while doing the work, yes, it's going to be painful. Yes, there's going to be intense moments, but the reward is your internal freedom. And that is something you cannot, like, there's no price that can be over that. It's too gold, it's too precious, it's too beautiful. That's your inner God right there.
And it's layered, I feel like there's the inner child work is layered. The traumas imprint subconscious programs, patterns, belief systems, right? And so based on where we're at and what we're ready to heal is truly what always presents itself, right? And so whatever's showing up in our realities right now is because it's ready for it to evolve. It's ready to expand. It's ready to express itself in a different way. And I know the two of you have had life come to you in different ways to ask you of a different expression. So Jay, Majesty, we'll start with you. What is one of the scariest energies that came to your mind of wanting to be expressed through you, and what did you do with it? a rebel energy?
First of all, my spiritual like purpose.
Yep.
Because this community has grown so much, but I came in an era where this wasn't really happening much. Especially, it was very suppressed, and especially in my area. I mean, I'm in Orange County, and this is starting to grow a little more. But I think that just starting to share that I am a healer, that I do take bookings, that I do readings, that I do this kind of stuff. I got a lot of backlash. I got a lot of criticism, and I had a lot of people who wanted to again rebel. But the mystic energy and the spirit that was just the most connected to all these things, that's my inner child. As a child, I was into the unknown. I was already connected with entities and spirits, and I've always heard, seen, and felt. And I eventually suppressed it to fear and for what people said. Well, if you see this and feel this, that means you're talking to like a demon or something. And and I knew my connection already at that time. And so, and once I started to heal and rebuild that connection with myself, that mystic energy came back out, and that became like my purpose. And so just sharing what I do, that was a big rebel move for me. My sexuality doesn't fucking matter. Oops, can I cuss? I'm so sorry.
No.
It doesn't matter to me, because it's just like a different layer of who I am. But it's the mystic and the unknown, and the person who is just out there and connecting with entities and doing the healing work and is in vibration with so many things at once. That's my rebel move right there for sure.
Yeah, it's an important one. That's an undeniable one. I know that one too. I was also told you can't be a healer full time. It's something you do as a hobby, not as a career. Having to leave a 15-year career and knowing that was my calling, right? And so there's energies that will keep showing up, and they keep presenting themselves, whether it's people that need your energy, whether it's inspiration of content to create, whether it's, serving a friend or family that's referred to you, right? So it just keeps showing up, and it keeps showing up because you're ready to serve. And so honoring that will continue and continue to honor it. So if you're being called to a specific career or a new job right now, that's because that's where your energy is needed, and you could benefit from it, and others can benefit from you. So saying yes, I'm capable of this. This is actually who I truly am, and I'm actually good at it, and I love it, and I can support others, and that's huge. And I know we all have those gifts. So this is another permission slip granted to every single one listening, and anyone watching the replay is give yourself that permission. So Ashley, with that, you have less than 1 minute, but would love for you to just share whatever is alive in this moment.
So going back to the question of like, how does my rebel energy come out? I feel like my favorite word lately has been audacity. In a lot of different spaces, professionally, platonically, I'm always willing to be the voice that's saying, like, kind of like speaking up for the silent narrative. Especially in regards to the cycle of giving on, like paying homage to our, like, honestly, our ancestry, and honestly understanding what is and what is not. I'm very much like, oh, I love life and everything, but I'll be the first one to be like, oh, don't get it twisted, because A, B, and C is the reality, and this is how we have to navigate it in order to be effective. And a lot of times that causes a lot of discomfort, and it puts me in positions where it's just like, should I said that? And I'm like, no, I said it because I meant it. And especially being a very spiritual person, like for me, I'm all about really like connecting to the elements of life and ensuring that I'm like being a clear vessel for the light of God, universe, however you want to flip it or switch it. If you ask me, life is everything and nothing simultaneously. So it all works. It's just there's levels to this, as you mentioned earlier, and to move accordingly. And that's a you journey. That's a you person, really.
Yes. Well, thank you both for being on the show today. It was a true honor to have your inspiration, your rebel energy. And with that, thank you all for tuning in. Come next week, 4 p.m. Tune in to Master Your Energy. I'll be back with an energy update and another guest to inspire, move you, and allow you to explore energy in a whole new way. So with that, have a powerful week and we'll see you soon. Bye.